Forget Tokyo, forget Kyoto, forget everything you think you know about Japan, because somewhere between the mountains and the sea, there are 10 places so quiet, so untouched, that most Japanese people will never mention them to a tourist. Not because they're secret, but because they're theirs. And once you see number 1, you'll understand why locals guard it like a family secret. Today, I'm taking you to a village with a glowing red bridge, an island that disappears into the clouds, a valley so remote it barely shows up on some maps, and a town where sulfur yellow lanterns glow along old gas lamp streets, looking like something straight out of a Studio Ghibli film. But don't go anywhere, because our final destination isn't just hidden. It's one of the most isolated inhabited places in all of Japan, a place so remote that almost no foreign traveler has ever set foot there. Let's begin. This is Yakushima, a small round island off the southern coast of Kyushu, and honestly, it feels less like Japan and more like a lost world. The island is covered in ancient cedar forests. Some of the trees here are more than 1,000 years old. One of them, the legendary Jomonsugi, is estimated to be over 2,000 years old. Some locals even believe it's closer to 7,000. Step into the forest, and you'll quickly see why this place inspired Studio Ghibli's Princess Mononoke. The trails are wrapped in thick moss, the air is filled with mist, and it rains here almost every single day, giving the forest an almost unreal shade of glowing green. Yakushima isn't the easiest place to reach. First, a ferry, then a bus, and finally, hours of hiking into the mountains. Maybe that's why it has stayed so special. No packed crowds, no endless souvenir shops, just you, and a forest that has been standing since long before most civilizations even existed. Next, we travel back 300 years to a town that time almost forgot. This is Narai-juku. Once, it was one of the 69 post towns along the old Nakasendo route, connecting Kyoto and Edo, the city we now call Tokyo. Today, it's home to the longest preserved Edo period streetscape in Japan. Wooden merchant houses, dark tiled roofs, quiet lantern-lined streets. Almost everything looks just as it did more than 300 years ago. Unlike Kyoto, Narai-juku welcomes only a small number of visitors. Most are Japanese hikers. Following the historic Nakasendo Trail, life here still moves at a slower pace. Local craftsmen continue making traditional lacquerware using techniques passed down for generations. Others still handcraft fresh soba noodles, much the same way their ancestors did centuries ago. Arrive just before sunrise, when the streets are silent, the lanterns are still glowing, and not a single shop has opened. For a moment, it feels less like visiting history and more like living inside it. Now, here's a place that surprises almost everyone: sand dunes. In Japan. Welcome to the Tottori sand dunes, stretching for more than 16 kilometers along the Sea of Japan. They're the largest sand dunes in the entire country every single day. The wind reshapes the sand, creating new ripples, new patterns, and a landscape that's never quite the same twice. And yes, you can even ride a camel here. It sounds unbelievable, but it's real. The most magical moment comes at sunset. The sand glows with shades of gold and deep orange. For a few minutes, it feels less like Japan and more like the Sahara Desert. Most international visitors never make it to Tottori. It's a little farther from Japan's famous tourist route, and maybe that's the best part. The crowds stay away, the silence remains, and the dunes still feel as wild as they always have. This next place is known as the Town of Water, and once you see it, you'll understand why. Welcome to Gujo Hachiman, a peaceful town where 3 crystal-clear rivers meet. Fresh water flows through canals right alongside the streets. It's so clean that locals still drink from public fountains. But water is only part of the story. Every August, the town comes alive. Gujo Hachiman hosts one of Japan's 3 great Bonodori festivals for more than 30 nights. Music fills the streets. Thousands of locals dance together from evening until sunrise. It's one of the longest traditional dance festivals in the world, and somehow, it's still one of Japan's best-kept secrets. Most international visitors have never even heard of it. Now, we're heading higher, way higher. Welcome to Mount Koya, the spiritual heart of Shingon Buddhism. More than 1,200 years ago, the monk Kukai founded this sacred mountain retreat. Today, it's home to over 100 temples. But here's something many visitors don't know. You can actually spend the night inside a working Buddhist monastery. It's called Shakubo, temple lodging. You'll sleep in traditional rooms, enjoy a vegetarian meal prepared by the monks, and before sunrise, you're invited to take part in a morning fire ritual. Then there's Okunoin, Japan's largest cemetery. More than 200,000 moss-covered tombstones stretch along a 2-kilometer path beneath towering cedar trees. Visit at dusk. As the stone lanterns begin to glow, the entire forest becomes silent. It's the kind of place that stays with you long after you've left. And we're only halfway through, because coming up is a village so remote, it's often called the last unexplored village in Japan. But first, let's visit a place where red bridges seem to be everywhere. This is Ouchi-juku, a quiet mountain village hidden deep in Fukushima Prefecture. At first glance, it feels like time simply stopped. Once a post town during the Edo period, today it's one of the best preserved historic villages in Japan. Every house is topped with a steep golden thatched roof. And in winter, when fresh snow blankets the village, the entire landscape looks like a real-life fairy tale. But there's another tradition you'll only find here. The local specialty is soba noodles, and instead of chopsticks, they're often eaten with a single long green onion. Yes, the onion is both your utensil and part of the meal. Because Ouchi-juku sits far from Japan's usual tourist trail, most international visitors never make the journey, which means you can often wander these historic streets in almost complete silence. From a village frozen in time, we now travel to an island that looks like it was stolen from the Mediterranean and quietly placed inside Japan. Number 4, Shodoshima Island, Japan's Little Greece. And I need to say this clearly, nobody talks about Shodoshima. And that is an absolute crime. Sitting in the Sato Inland Sea of Kagawa Prefecture, just a 30-minute ferry ride from Takamatsu. This small island is called the Olive Island because it is Japan's primary olive-growing region, and the landscape genuinely looks like somewhere between Greece and Tuscany. Azure waters, rolling green groves, whitewashed architecture tucked between mountains. But Shodoshima has layers. There are ancient gorges with dramatic stone formations cutting through the island's heart. There is Angel Road, a magical sandbar that rises from the sea twice a day at low tide, connecting the main island to a tiny island just offshore. And there is some of the finest soy sauce in the entire world, still brewed today in centuries-old wooden barrels, exactly as it was 400 years ago. The island is tiny. The tourists almost do not exist, and it is drop-dead gorgeous. Pro tip, check the tide schedule before you visit and time your arrival for low tide. Angel Road only appears for a few hours each day. Walk it, stand in the middle of the sea, and just take a moment to realize you found something truly special. Shodoshima was hidden in plain sight. But number 3 takes hidden to a level that most people cannot even imagine. Number 3, Aogashima Island, a village inside a volcano. We are now firmly in the realm of the extraordinary. 358 kilometers south of Tokyo, floating alone in the middle of the open Pacific Ocean. Population, approximately 160 people. Let that sink in, 160 people. Aogashima is a double caldera volcano, meaning it is a massive volcanic crater with a second smaller volcanic cone growing inside of it. And in the space between those two craters, a tiny Japanese village. where real people live, cook dinner, raise children, go to sleep at night, inside an active volcano, and they are completely content about it. Getting here is half the adventure. Helicopters and ferries run infrequently and are canceled often due to weather. There are no hotels, only rooms rented from local families. There is one small general store on the entire island. This is as far off-grid as you can get, while still technically standing on Japanese soil. And that is exactly why it will take your breath away. The world has not touched this place, and you can feel that the moment you arrive. We just stood inside a volcano, and somehow, number 2 manages to feel even more unreal, but in the most beautiful way possible. Number 2, Ginzan Onsen, the town that looks like it steps straight out of Spirited Away. Do you remember that scene? The glowing bathhouse district reflected in the dark water at night, the lanterns, the steam, the feeling that you had crossed into another world entirely. Hayao Miyazaki did not pull that from pure imagination. He was inspired by real places, and Ginzan Onsen might be the closest place on Earth to what he dreamed. Nestled deep in a narrow mountain valley in Yamagata Prefecture, about 4 hours north of Tokyo by bullet train, this tiny hot spring town has wooden 3-story ryokan lining both sides of a narrow stream, all of them lit by flickering gas lanterns. In winter, snow blankets every single surface. Steam rises slowly from the ground beneath your feet. It does not look real, but it is. And unlike more famous onsen towns that have been polished for tourism, Ginzan still feels completely genuine. The ryokan owners have been running the same inns for generations. The mineral-rich waters have been healing weary travelers for 400 years. This is Japan at its most romantic, at its most surreal, at its most purely and beautifully itself. Ginzan Onsen was a dream you could see. But number one is a dream you can disappear into and never want to leave. I have saved the best for last, and I mean that with everything I have. Number 1, Aya Valley, Japan's last hidden wilderness. Aya Valley sits on the island of Shikoku, the least visited of Japan's 4 main islands, tucked inside mountain gorges so deep that sunlight only reaches the valley floor for a few hours each day. And it is everything the rest of Japan is in your imagination. Wild, ancient, silent, and completely untouched, concentrated into one of the most dramatic landscapes on the face of this planet. Deep mountain gorges split by rivers of pure emerald. Centuries-old thatched farmhouses clinging to slopes so steep they look impossible to inhabit. Ancient vine bridges called kazurabashi, hand-woven from mountain vines by local hands, and still used by locals today. And mist. Always mist, filling the valley each morning like the earth itself is breathing. But what makes Aya Valley truly extraordinary is its history. This place was so inaccessible, so completely cut off from the outside world, that during Japan's brutal civil wars, defeated clans fled here to hide from their enemies. The famous Heike clan retreated to Iya after losing the Battle of Dan no Urus in 1185, and some of their descendants still live in these very mountains today. 800 years of hiding in a valley so beautiful, it never felt like hiding at all. There are no famous temples here, no castles, no shopping streets, no tour buses. There is only nature at its most raw and dramatic, silence that feels sacred, and the overwhelming sense that you are standing somewhere the modern world has simply not yet reached. And you are incredibly lucky to be standing in it. This is the Japan that will change you. This is the Japan worth crossing every ocean for. 10 hidden gems, 10 places that will make you see Japan completely differently. And every single one of them is waiting, quietly, patiently, for the traveler brave enough to look just a little further. From an ancient forest that inspired a Miyazaki film, to a street frozen in 1850, to sand dunes rising from the Sea of Japan, to a city dancing for 33 nights, to a sacred mountain that rewires your soul, to a snow village that stopped time, to a Mediterranean island hiding in Asia, to a village inside a volcano, to a town that Miyazaki dreamed into existence, and finally, to a valley so wild and so ancient that even Japan itself seems to have forgotten it is there. These places are real. They are waiting, and they deserve to be seen. Now here is my challenge to you. Don't just watch this video, save it, plan with it, go. The world has too many people all photographing the same things. Be the one who finds something different. Be the one who comes home with a story nobody has heard before. If this video opened your mind even a little bit, you know what to do. And I will see you in the next one.